Today we'll be looking at Legacy Cosmos. Legacy has released many new iterations of classic characters, and in this case we've got a G1 rendition of Cosmos. The last rendition was in Thrilling 30 / Titan's Return as a core / Legends class figure, so a fair bit smaller, with less articulation, but yeah, I kind of like the alt mode a bit more because it was a proper flying saucer rather than a Cosmos one. But that's how it works. This figure started in a subline from Legacy called Speedy 500, I believe, something like that. At the time, there was only this and Override that were original molds. All the other molds were repaints, and quite honestly it was overpriced, and as far as I'm concerned it gave Hasbro carte blanche to increase the price of figures, apart from Leader Class for some reason, and really they've been overcharging for them ever since. But that's a thing for another time. So starting in robot mode then, if I just bring it in. Focus there, camera. You going to focus? Yes, you are. Good. As you can see, the blues are really well done. In fact, all of the colours, the paint, everything is really well done. There's nothing... all the details really well done. The Autobot symbol is crisp. The light blue stands out from the darker sort of Royal Navy blue. The silver is really nicely done on the torso. Coming on to the head, and even though the eyes are sunk in a bit, the blue again pops, and the head, be it a very dark red, it again works really well. The greens, be them in two toners actually, but you can see that more in alt mode, again really well done. This yellow, it could do with another coat or two, but I think that's kind of the point because there is no actual bleed through to the green. So I think it's on purpose to be this like cheddary green. We come on to the yellow, the legs, and we've got like a hip skirt thing. We've got this section which it feels like this comes out, but it doesn't. It's pretty well done. It kind of looks like the upper legs are a different colour to the lower legs, but that might just be the lighting. We come to the feet. They're just big, grating glompers, as it were, and yeah, pretty good and pretty well sized. Onto the arms again. Nice bit of detail here. I don't know if that's G1 accurate or cartoon G1 accurate, but it's nice to have a bit of detail. Makes it stick out a bit. And it's nice to have these guns on the, or thrusters, on the hands. These kind of mimic what the alt mode does, if I bring it back into camera. On the here we've got some more thruster detail, which is kind of showing off from this, which is nice to have. It's got a port on here so you can stick weapons on. So it's got a port on here so you can stick weapons on, and also a different place for a flight stand, why not? He hasn't got one here, which is weird. Most figures have got flight stands in between the legs. Not really much on the back. There's a bit kibble at the back for heels, but I think it kind of needed them because it would fall over otherwise. It's got a port on the bottom of the feet, but because they are a bit sunken in, I don't know how useful they are. There's also some ports on the sides. It's nice to have them. Nice to have the options, as it were. And there you go. I'm not going to say anything bad about this robot mode because it really isn't. Honestly, it's not as tubby as you think G1 Cosmos probably should be, but the proportions are really nice, and yeah, I think it's really well done. He comes included with, accessory wise, a checkered flag piece and a gun. Now this gun has got a hole in it which you stick this into to be like a checkered flag, because the original subline it came from was basically all the characters were basically racing. So Cosmos holds the checkered flag. It's not a big checkered flag, and in one way I wish it could have been bigger, but in another way, how big do you wish it to be? So he can also hold it as a gun. It's a bit basic in detail, but Cosmos isn't really a fighter, but you know, it's a nice little pea shooter and I think it works. Other storage for this piece, I'd just stick it onto the back, honestly. It doesn't really help anything, but if you want it to be used as a gun, then the only other thing I've found is sticking it in here. It wobbles about and it's not secure, but it's something. I'm going to give robot mode 24 out of 25. The only thing I think could have been improved is the storage for the flag, and this yellow could have been done a bit better. On to the articulation then, and yep, it's pretty decent, all things considered. So the head is on a ball joint, but as you just noticed there, when you're messing about with it, it's easy enough to untransform the head section. It's a little bit annoying and it goes back easy enough, and honestly it might be best to just put a finger there, just hold it, just so you can wiggle about, just like that. Arms go all the way around, although it's weird that they only seem to go so far and get stuck. It's not because they're designed to do that, it's weird. I think it's because there's a little bit on the arm joint, it just gets stuck at times, and you need to fold the arm in to have it rotate. Yeah, you need to have the arm in all the way to rotate it all the way around, which is a bit of a design flaw, but I suppose it is what it is. But you've got all the way around motion. You've got somewhat tight lower arm joint, a fairly decent, pretty spot on 90-degree bend at the elbow. The hands don't do anything unless they go in and out like so. The hip skirts move out so the legs can do the full splits. He does have a waist rotation, but it can get a little bit stuck on this little thing here. So if I just zoom around like so, it won't go any further, but that's a pretty good range, so that's not really an issue. Going back to the legs, we've got full back, full forward should I say, and a full back like so. We've got a bend which is about 90-degree for the knee. We've got thigh swivel, and the ankle pivot is that far, which might not seem enough, but honestly if we get them both out and we get it into some sort of posingness, I don't think it's too bad, to be honest. It might have been better having a bit more posing in the ankles, but I don't think it's too bad. It's honestly nice having these hip skirts. It adds a bit of a flair to him, to be honest. Just a little bit of extra. I'm going to give articulation 23 out of 25. The reason being is that this flap could have been a bit tight, locked in a bit tighter, and a little bit more ankle pivot, but apart from that, it's all pretty decent, I think. On to the transformation then, and this is one where it can be a little bit tricky because you need to do this in a certain order. So what we want to do first is come to the back of the feet and pull these out. Now these are locked in like so, but if I just zoom in, you've got these, if it will focus, yep, you've got these tabs here and you've got this bit here. So this goes over it, but you need to put a bit of force into it. So like so. It's easier coming out than going in, but yeah, you need to put a bit of force when you're putting it in and a slight bit of force when it comes out. It's not ideal, and I wish they'd done it a little bit better, but once you've done that, fold it out. It's not nothing holding it in, but it doesn't move, no floppiness. So do the same on the other side. Then now with the feet, it's not straight, go backwards. You do the ankle tilt, then you do it back, then you put it like that. So you again on this side, tilt, back, put it back in place. There we go. And then there's a slightly divoted notch thing here that puts the feet together, like so. Then you can leave this as it is for now. Come on to the head, if it hasn't already gone in, push this in, like so. It doesn't go in the other way around, so you can't push it in that way. It only goes in this way. Easy enough. Then come on to the hands and simply fold them in. Very hard stuff so far. If this is a bit hard to follow, don't worry. I understand it's very difficult. Apologies for the sarcasm. So then straighten out the arms if you haven't done already. And there's these sections under here that these armpit areas are clipped into these green bits. What you want to do is unclip them. Easy enough, and sometimes the articulation, the arms do it anyway, but it's annoying. Well, is it annoying? No, it doesn't happen that often. It's just if you're being a bit heavy-handed, then it will. If you're not, then you're fine. Then what you want to do is grab from this section and this section. Don't grab from this bit here, otherwise it'll pop off. So what you want to do first is pull that out. It's sort of like gone in like that, because there's a port there and a post there. I don't know if you can see it, but it goes in like that when you're going into robot mode. Otherwise you fold it out, and I'll just zoom out a bit. Then what you want to do is rotate it all the way around like so, and just leave it like this for now, and get this part and fold it out so it's like that. If you want to do anything with this section and this bit, don't use this because it'll pop off. The first time I transformed it, it popped off, which, yeah, it goes in easy enough. It's just, I really wish it hadn't popped off. It was a bit annoying, but it is what it is. Right, so you want it like that, and the arms just, however you want, out of the way, effectively, like that. Then, and here's a clever bit. Well, firstly, you want these bits up as far as possible. Then, there's this joint in the middle of the legs that you grab the legs and pull it out. So I'll just zoom in closer so you can see. So you pull it and it comes apart like so. Then you want to fold it back so it's like that, or it goes as far back as possible. While doing this, and this is the annoying bit, you want to fold this down and fold this in like so. So you're kind of concertining the legs and this together, so it's kind of like this. So if this don't push it any further, you push it in far enough. Another way to check is the head will not go all the way, it will only go that far. Then get these side bits, and these will fold down and hold the legs in place. Then, and I like that bit, then come to the arms. If the armpit sections haven't gotten in the way, because they can do a little bit, rotate them until they're like this, just making sure the armpits are as far back. What you want to make sure is these armpit sections, these bits that are connected to the arms, are clicked into place here. There's a soft click. If they're not, they'll just move all over the place and get really annoying. So what you want to do is, there's a post here and a port here, and the arms just plug in like so, and once you've got it all smushed together and in place, it'll look like this. Transformation has some really clever steps to it, and I like how the legs work especially. And yeah, you can see how the smoothness and the roundness of the alt mode is going to take shape, but you don't realise how the legs are going to go. You think the legs are going to just fold up, fold down, and that's it. But no, fold them back a little bit extra. It does help the figure stand out a little bit, which I think is really nice. But I really wish the armpit joint bits would behave themselves a bit more. And I really wish this wouldn't pop off when you're not being careful with it. But other than that, it's not bad transformation at all. Transformation gets a 21 out of 25. On to the alt mode then, and yeah. Look, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I do not like the G1 Cosmos design. I didn't like it in the cartoon. I just don't like G1 Cosmos, and the reason being is this bit here. It's way too high up. I know that's how Cosmos looks, and it's accurate. And yes, you could say accuracy is neither a good thing or a bad thing, but in this case, yeah, I don't like it, but it is a good thing in this case, because if this is near damn it perfect to a G1 Cosmos as you will get, you've got little nubs at the front for guns which you can put blast effects on. You've got these thrusters at the back like the hands had, which is a nice touch to have them in two different places to kind of replicate where the transformation would go. I don't know why there's a different coloured green at the front and it doesn't go all the way around, but it adds a bit extra. And the silver from the feet, it's nice to have. And this is G1 accurate, and it's nice that this doesn't have some extra kibble to make it smaller or bigger, which I think some designers probably would have done, which I also like on top the fact that they've basically shrunk that down by just, you know, flipping it around. It's a nice and simple way to do it. It's not clever, but it works. And what you could do with the flag is stick it in there, and the little port, which for flight stands and whatnot, poke the end of the gun, which is blast effect compatible, like that. So he's at the front or the back, getting all the vehicles to go across the finish line. Or I like to think he's like Lakitu from Super Mario Brothers, Mario Kart. Is just kind of doing a similar sort of thing. Yeah, but I really just don't like the alt mode, and this is the problem with it. Do I go give it a really low score because I don't like the alt mode, or do I give it a good score because I think it is a good alt mode despite the fact that I really don't like it? Look, I'll compromise a bit and say I'm going to give it a 19 out of 25. Truce? Truce. In conclusion, Legacy Cosmos is a fantastic figure. It's a mould that I didn't really think much about, and looking at the reviews I still didn't think much about it, but having messed about with it, I can understand why people really like it. I've got nothing but respect for the figure and what it does. So why did I buy it, even though I really don't like the thing? It was cheap, really. Was the only reason. At time of recording, Smith Toys have got this figure for £12 leading up to Christmas. Yeah, that'll date this video. But if you can find this figure, honestly, would I pay 23 to 25 quid for it? honestly not. There's some shortcomings in the transformation a bit, and I really don't like the alt mode. That's personal preference, but yeah, it's just me. I'd honestly probably give him maybe a better weapon, perhaps, or I don't know, something else, perhaps. But even I can't deny it isn't a great figure. The total score for Legacy Cosmos is 87 out of 100. Other people will give it in the 90s, which I can respect, but it's just that alt mode. Which, it would be a shame, but what else would you do? Would you do it like the Legends one? Probably not. Honestly, I think it's better if they did it like this. It's just personal preference, and this just ain't for me. And I'm okay with that. I'll sell this maybe at a bit of a loss, but I paid 12 quid, which, can I complain? Not really. So, I'm going to give it to someone who will like it. So, with that being said, thank you for watching. Goodbye for now.